I feel like some of the other areas are a little bit more crowded, so sometimes it's hard to find a spot.
BYU's library construction is affecting students studying, especially right with finals around the corner.
What we teach our kids when they're just little. Your parents taught you, stranger danger. That's you don't know this person.
BYU police talk about where sexual assault is most common on BYU campus.
The Supreme Court of the United States declared, albeit through a highly fractured Supreme Court opinion, one that couldn't even and didn't even garner a single focal point majority, a plurality opinion.
The U.S. Supreme Court hears arguments on Mississippi abortion law. Welcome to UniverseLive. I'm Katie M. Powell.
And I'm Emily Jones. It's Wednesday, December 1st. Today, the Supreme Court takes up an abortion case that could fundamentally transform the decision made in Roe v. Wade.
Britt Conway gives us the details on arguments on the Mississippi abortion law for this morning in D.C.
Jane Roe versus Henry Wade, a case filed in Dallas, Texas 50 years ago. Less than 3 years later, the Supreme Court ruled to affirm abortion rights nationwide. Since then, the case we now know as Roe v. Wade has been at the center of American politics.
Trust women! Trust women! We will abolish abortion!
Now, the justices consider a momentous question. Should Roe v. Wade be overturned? Front and center, a Mississippi law signed in 2018, though it's been blocked by lower courts ever since because it directly conflicts with Roe v. Wade and the 1992 case Planned Parenthood v. Casey. These cases establish the Constitution protects a woman's choice to have an abortion, and states can only ban abortions after the point of viability. That's when a fetus can survive outside the womb. In 1992, the court said that's between 23 and 24 weeks, but the Mississippi law bans abortions after 15 weeks. If the justices uphold the Mississippi law, it would be much easier for states to ban or more seriously restrict abortion rights. With one estimate of 26 states fully banning abortions, seen here in orange, with nearly a half-century of legal precedent built upon Roe v. Wade hanging in the balance. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Mike Lee himself is pushing for overturning Roe v. Wade, asking Capitol Hill to mimic what they did for COVID and put up a flag for every abortion.
What if we put up little red flags, each representing one of the American lives lost to abortion every year?
Mike Lee spoke at the Supreme Court informing Utahns of his stance against abortion. You can see the masses of protesters on the Supreme Court steps behind him. The Supreme Court will continue to hear arguments, but a decision is not expected until late June.
As part of a campus safety series, we've talked about where women feel unsafe at BYU and if BYU's safety resources work. In the final part of the series, reporter Allie O'Reilly talks about the underlying fear behind these issues. Allie, why do women often feel unsafe?
Well, in part one, I was here in the Heritage Hall's overflow parking lot talking to young women about how they feel unsafe walking home at night in fear of being sexually assaulted. But in fact, sexual assault rarely happens in these scenarios. It most often happens in places we're familiar with.
Women take certain daily precautions to stay safe. But there's one place that most people put their guard down, on a date. But first and second dates are a hot spot for sexual assault.
That's where it's happening in the car, at an apartment, those areas.
Being in a car on an infamous Provo date like driving up the canyon or parking up at the Y or at Squaw Peak, and being alone in an apartment while, say, watching a movie creates scenarios where dates, most often men, perform sexual acts that are not consensual. This creates guilt and shame for the victim and feeling that it's their fault for going on the date in the first place. But sexual assault is not the fault of the victim, regardless of what they choose to do on a date. Lisa Levitt, the lead sexual assault advocate at BYU, says there's a lack of knowledge surrounding consent and safety.
We have a particularly naive population in this campus.
There are a couple points she says our society can improve on. First, consent needs to be more often and more adamantly taught. Second, people should be more wary of trusting dates, especially on dating apps. And third, we should be more willing to discuss sexual assault openly with each other.
There's a lot of power in peer-to-peer education.
BYU offers resources to victims of sexual assault, such as the Title IX office, sexual assault advocates like Levitt, and Women's Services.
If you are a victim of sexual assault and would like help, Title IX and Lisa Levitt are located in the Wilk. Reporting live in Provo, I'm Allie O'Rulian.
Thanks, Allie.
The Utah Highway Patrol is looking for a gunman who shot and hit at least 4 cars early Tuesday on I-15. Witnesses described the suspect's vehicle as a light-colored SUV and possibly a Jeep Cherokee. 2 people from the cars were hit by gunshots and sustained non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was last seen heading on south on I-15 and their current location is unknown.
At least 2 Orem police officers are on administrative leave with pay as an investigation continues into an officer-involved shooting. Friday night, police went to investigate a fight at 1100 South 50 East in Orem where a 41-year-old son stabbed his 68-year-old father. They found the suspect near the crime scene. He charged the officers with weapons in both hands. Multiple officers fired shots while trying to arrest the suspect and the man was hit. He was given medical attention but ultimately died from his injuries.
Construction in the libraries on campus this semester and has resulted in some changes for BYU students and library employees. UniverseLive reporter Isabel Brown has more on the story.
The Harold B. Lee Library has had ongoing construction on the 3rd and 4th floors, improving spaces for student use. Some students who study in the library have had to adjust some of their routines in order to accommodate these disruptions.
I study in the library. I would say probably split between studying in my apartment and the library.
I feel like some of the other areas are a little bit more crowded, so sometimes it's hard to find a spot.
I think because of that there has been an increase of people here in this area, but I don't think there's an increase of people overall just because of the construction.
Help desk workers in the library have had varying experiences in assisting students with this transition. As the semester progresses, there is less reacclimation on both ends.
When we had construction in front of me over there, the printers, people didn't know where the printers were, and so they would come up and ask all the time where they were.
It might affect other desks, but so far it hasn't really affected our desk very much.
In general, however, there is a positive attitude towards these changes and what the future of the library looks like.
I like the little glass cubicles they have, even though it's not like soundproof, you kind of feel like you're in your own little spot, and it's just really nice.
I think it looks amazing, especially with the big windows. I really liked it. I feel like 1 or 2 semesters of construction was worth it for what we have now.
Reporting for UniverseLive in Provo, I'm Isabel Brown.
The Transportation Security Administration, better known as the TSA, released its 20-year celebration calendar featuring 12 of their furrier agents, and one of them is a local. Meet Hilbert, Alona, and Badger, just a few of the good boys and girls keeping airline passengers safe. And here's Marty, a German short-haired pointer stationed locally at the Salt Lake City International Airport, who is cross-eyed and steals a bite of pizza every time he smells it. The 2022 calendar is available as a printable PDF on the agency's website at tsa.gov.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints annual Light the World initiative is underway. The theme this year is Light the World with Love and features a calendar of daily service ideas starting today and goes until Christmas Day. This year, there is a new children's calendar to help all members of the family to get involved. To participate in this initiative, you can print out the service calendar, go to one of the giving machines, and discover the meaning behind the message of Light the World. For more information on any of these things, go to thechurchofjesuschrist.org/come-unto-Christ.
BYU is partnering with 3 other universities in a research project funded by the NFL to research hamstring injuries.
So this study is the biggest study on hamstring injuries that's ever happened.
We will tell you what these researchers found to help athletes get back in the game.
For us, it's a lot of long hours, so we're usually 12 to 14 hours a day.
Find out how Christmas tree farms prepare for the busy holiday season.
We have continued haze and high pressure into the weekend, but I'll tell you when to be on the lookout for a new storm.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
The NFL is investing $4 million in its first research project on hamstring injuries. Catherine Bennett is live at LaVell Edwards Stadium to share how BYU will play a critical role in the project. Catherine?
They'll be studying hamstring injuries, how to prevent them, and how to help athletes get back in the game quicker.
So the NFL is actively trying to do things to make the game safer.
Brett Mortensen, BYU physical therapist, shared that hamstring injuries are the most common soft tissue injury in the NFL. BYU football safety and linebacker Chaz Ayu recently injured his hamstring.
I tore the tendon off the bone.
He was running and it just popped, but when they gave him the diagnosis,
They didn't really give me an explanation.
this hamstring project combines research like never before. The study will be analyzing 2 specific groups.
People who've previously had hamstring injuries, people who've never had a hamstring injury.
They will be looking at how the athletes move, the biomechanics of their body, and perform MRIs to analyze the body makeup and the healing of the muscles post-injury.
We're going to look at all of those and try to come up with a criteria that lets us predict just who's at higher risk and at what point in the rehab process once they're injured, at what point they're at their safest to return.
It is a research project, so BYU football players will have the option to participate. But
because it's something that so frequently affects athletes, my guess is that most of them will decide that they want to be involved.
the scans and data collection will begin in this coming spring and summer training and continue through the next 3 years. Mortensen hopes that with the data collected, they can know
why our guys are missing games, why our guys are hurt, why they can't do what they're training all year to do. We would see a decrease in the frequency and the severity of hamstring injuries.
Ayu is excited to see the results of the study and thinks that it will influence
The way that we train, the way that we work out in our off seasons, I think that it'll change the way that we approach taking care of our bodies as far as recovery.
But this study isn't just going to help football players.
We're going to be helping to shape how other institutions, how other sports even address one of the most common injuries in athletics.
While this research is going to change the game, Mortensen wants to encourage athletes.
To be an athlete, you have to push, but a lot of it is they also need to listen to their bodies.
Between the 4 universities participating and after 3 years of study, they will have over 1,500 athlete years of research, helping them have game-changing new information. Reporting live at LaVell Edwards Stadium, I'm Catherine Bennett.
Thanks, Catherine.
Buying and decorating your Christmas tree is a cherished holiday tradition, but how does the tree get from the forest right into our living rooms? UniverseLive reporter Mikkel Park gives us a behind-the-scene look on how it all works.
That's exactly right. There's about 25 to 30 million Christmas trees sold right here in the United States every single year. And I headed to a local Christmas tree farm to get the inside look at how the magic happens. Finding the perfect Christmas tree is an essential part of the holiday season. One local business, Baum's Christmas Trees, which has provided Provo with Christmas trees for over 50 years, showed me how they prepare for the Christmas season.
We start in July. We go out and start looking for good areas to purchase healthy trees. End of October, beginning of November, we start cutting. We take about a week to set up, and then we're ready for business.
The crew works hard to give customers the best selection each year and offer a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and types of pine trees.
For us, it's a lot of long hours, so we're usually 12 to 14 hours a day. A lot of behind-the-scenes prep work and getting the trees ready, especially with the flock trees that we do.
Flocking, which gives the trees the natural white snow-covered look, involves spraying the tree with a prep coat of water, a coat of the white flocking, and a final coat to secure the powder to the tree, all while spinning on a rotating platform.
It really preserves the tree a lot. It coats it, you don't have to use a water stand.
The Baum family hopes they can give customers a unique selection of trees and help create the Christmas magic that a tree can bring.
Coming out to a tree lot and looking around, finding the perfect tree for your family, something new and fun every year.
Baum's Christmas Trees is open from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So go check it out and find your perfect tree for this holiday season. Reporting for UniverseLive in Provo, I'm Mikkel Park.
Thanks, Mikkel.
Snowbird opens today for the golden anniversary of their 50th ski season. In celebration of the big milestone, Snowbird is hosting an opening day event, Birdstock. Guests are invited to come dressed in retro gear to celebrate the 1971 spirit of the original Snowbird Resort. Live music and giveaways will be happening in Gad Valley. You can look through Snowbird's history and share your own memories at snowbird.com/50th-anniversary.
The sun is out in Provo, but I'm sure many of you would like to see more winter weather. This video comes from Brigham Young University, where we do see a little cloud siding in the right there behind the mountains. For the rest of the week, this is what we are going to be seeing of these mild, dry conditions and light winds. So beautiful days ahead of us. Good morning, good afternoon on this Wednesday. This is our radar today of temperatures starting off pretty chilly. It will warm up as we get more into the day. But here's your midweek weather update. We have high pressure continuing from California, giving us a widespread haze that will last the rest of this week. And then we'll have some cloud movement moving in and out. We'll see that movement throughout the week as well. But Monday into Tuesday night of next week is when we'll see our first rainstorm. So hopefully we'll see that haze lifting there as well. For today's temperatures across the Beehive State, we're pretty much staying in the 50s. Wendover, you're going to be at 48 as your high, 23 as your low. Price 56 as your high, 30 as your low. Moab, you're getting down to 25 tonight. And then St. George, 66 as your high and 31 as your low. For southern Utah, you'll see the sun all weekend, a week into that weekend, but then when Monday hits, again, you'll see the clouds because of that possible rainstorm cooling down in temperature. 66 degrees Thursday, Monday 62 degrees, and then at night we'll be right there in the 40s and 30s. For northern Utah, again, that haze until the weekend. Monday it will lift, seeing that rain. 55 degrees on Thursday, dropping to 49, and we're going to be right there in the 30s all throughout that night. And I'm so surprised. It's the first week of December, December 1st, and we're still seeing the sun.
I know. I think December and snow, so I'm kind of missing the snow weather.
I know. I should be getting frostbite, and instead I'm getting a tan. I mean, not much of one, obviously, but still. Finding the perfect name for a new pet is challenging.
But the pandemic gave Americans plenty of inspiration. According to Rover.com's annual report on 2021's most popular pet names, choosing pandemic-inspired names for pets was on the rise. The use of Fauci for man's best friend jumped to 270% this year, while COVID as a pet name rose 35%. Working from home and streaming services also inspired names like Zoom, Siri, and Google. And Grogu from Disney Plus, The Mandalorian, was the #1 trending dog name in the country. Thanks for joining us today for UniverseLive. For more information.
Actually, I have something interesting to say about that. I went to the puppy store yesterday, and all their dogs were named after famous musicians. And I pet a dog named Dua Lipa, and there was a dachshund named Adele. It was the best. Yeah.
I think this is a great time to look at getting pets, right? It's Christmas, the holidays, and we love that.
Yes. What would you name your pet if you got one?
I don't know, but I just think I would want a dog, like a beagle. I'm really into that right now.
Thanks for joining us today for UniverseLive. For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu.
Have a great day.